Hey guys, Sandy here. Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm playing with the Crafty Elves products from Brutus Monroe. So this is the 6x6 paper collection. It has 12 patterns and it is front and back. You get 2 of each sheet. Now I have used some of the paper in here already. I'm also using the Crafty Elves stamp set. I think I'm going to use this one because, you know, this guy is looking kind of sassy. And I like this one down here who kind of looks like he's scrapbooking. So I'm going to use those 2 for sure. We might add in another one, we'll see. And then of course I'm going to be playing with some embossing powder. So let's see what I can do. Alright guys, so I'm starting by using some Raven detail ink from Brutus Monroe. I lied, that's embossing ink. I forgot that I embossed these bad boys. Normally, I start with Raven Detail Ink because it is my favorite black ink ever. However, this time I am using the clear embossing ink. Embossing ink, you guys, if you've never heard of it before, it's a sticky ink. And what that does is it allows your embossing powder to hold on. And then you use a heat tool and you make it so magically smooth and melted. So I'm going to go ahead and heat those up until everything is smooth and melted. And I'm going through the Crafty Elves paper pad to try to figure out which papers I want to use. Now this paper pad is full of lovely maroon and gold colors. You know, go Gryffindor. The colors do remind me a little bit of that. So if you're a Hufflepuffle or a Slytherin, might not be your thing. So I am just going to color in these elves. I'm just using some markers from my stash with clearance stickers on them because I got some markers on the cheap for clearance and I was excited to go ahead and try them out. So I've got them down. And then after I finish coloring, I am going to fussy cut my 2 elves out. Now there are coordinating dies. I do not have the coordinating dies for the Crafty Elves stamp set, but fussy cutting is not something that bothers me. I kind of, dare I say, even like it. So I just go ahead and cut those bad boys out. And remember, you want to hold your scissor hand as still as possible, and you only want to open and close the scissor blades. You want to move your opposite hand. So I'm trying to figure out what I'm doing with my life, and I'm just not exactly sure yet. So I have the elves. I like how they kind of pop out on that piece of paper. So I hope that I actually use that paper in the layout, you guys. Sometimes I watch my videos and I'm like, yeah, I really like that combination. And then I don't use it. And I'm like, what are you thinking, Sandy? Why are you not doing the things anymore? So hopefully I do the things. All right, so I'm going to mat this on. I was thinking about doing kind of like a photo journaling mat, and then it just wasn't jiving for me, right? Like it just wasn't coming together in my head. What I was seeing, well, it was together in my head, but what I was seeing in my head wasn't coming across my page. Now, when that happens, you can go one of 2 ways, right? You can say, darn it, I'm going to make this happen. Or you could say, I'm not feeling it, I'm just going to go with something else. Either way is a totally correct way to craft, you guys. Like, there's no wrong way. There is no wrong way. I feel like I have to repeat that. It's like, once again, for the crafters in the back, there is no wrong way. You know, you gotta do what you gotta do. So I have this photo of my daughter. This is Chloe, and she got a fancy art journal for Christmas this year. Not this year, 2022, but this year as in when this photo was taken. So I am going to use the Crafty Elves to document that. So I went ahead and I've distressed the edges of my paper. Now, if you don't have a distress tool, you can just use some scissors, whatever makes it easy for you. Now, this is the Staples Circle Stencil, also from Brutus Monroe. Now, I am putting some embossing ink through it, and then I am laying down the Raven embossing powder over top of it. You might not have seen it, but the best tool for embossing powder cleanup that I have found is a Swiffer. One of those just handheld little Swiffer guys works amazingly. Now, I do know that there are people out there that like cut up their Swiffer and just use little Swiffer bits. I can't be bothered with that, right? Like that, it's too much work. Throw the Swiffer on the Swiffer handle and there you go. And the only reason why I even put the Swiffer on the Swiffer handle is because it's easier to reach, because I just reach down and get it right off of one of my 3-tiered carts. And that makes it super easy because, you know, lazy. Laziness is the mother of invention. So I go ahead and I get those down, and now I am taking some Ornament Gold Chroma Mist, and I'm just going to go ahead and get this down on my paper as well. Now, I don't have the patience to let it dry, so I do blot it with a paper towel. That's not really going to do anything but pull up some of the mass of watery chroma mist that's there. So I get my 2 papers down here for a mat. I have my photo popped up on some fun foam just to give it a little bit of dimension. And then I decide I need even more fun going on my background. So I tear off the edge of the top and the edge of the bottom. And then I go ahead and take a piece of that awesome paper that I loved so much. So hooray for me for using it. And then I have that peeking out of both that top tear and the bottom tear. Now I got to figure out where my little elves are going. And I like this one that's kind of like looking down, because not only is he looking down at the other elf who is doing some sort of crafting in a notebook, I'd like to think he's scrapbooking. But in this case, we're going to say that he's art journaling, since that was Chloe's present. I really like how that one with the hands on the hips is just kind of looking at that little guy and also looking at Chloe and her art journal. So I pull out some letters from my stash, which I don't have a T, and I Frankenstein up one. So I have art, and then I'm going to grab some other letter stickers, and I'm going to spell out the word journal. So art journal. Like I said, this was one of Chloe's Christmas presents. So there it is, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to check out the links down below if you're interested in any of the products from Brutus Monroe. It is Black Friday weekend when this video is going live, so there is all kinds of awesome sales going on too at Brutus Monroe, so check that out. And look at me, I even journaled on the layout. Alright guys, thanks so much for watching, and I will see you again real soon for another video.